Time to get buzzed. Howard Bender, aka Roto Buzz Guy, is here to help you get through Thursday on Getting Buzzed. And now, please welcome to the virtual stage, Mr. Howard Bender.
Yeah, what is going on, everybody? Thank you so much for being here. Welcome to Getting Buzzed. I am Howard Bender. And, oh, baby, I appreciate you guys tuning in here for another fantastic episode. Super excited about everything that we got going on here today. Shout out to my producer, Adam Bernard, for always bringing the heat and always helping me out here, making this look good. If you're watching on that Fantasy Alarm YouTube page, you best be hitting that like and subscribe button. Come on. This is not your normal fantasy show. This is not your normal betting show. In fact, this isn't a fantasy show or a betting show. It's a sports talk show, right? And we have a little fun with it here. Sometimes you get a little salty, Howard, when I'm in a bad mood or something like that. It's sports talk with an edge. How about that? And then, of course, I love bringing in some spectacular guests and talk about that. Think about this, right? Listen, if Jimmy Fallon can do the late night talk show, why can't I do a midday sports talk show of that same ilk? So that's what we bring here to you for Getting Buzzed. Let me tell you, my guest today, I'm super stoked about this. I used to work with him at SiriusXM. I used to work at him back when Fantasy Alarm had a wonderful little company called Wager Alarm. He is fresh off of the MLB Winter Meetings in Nashville. He covers the Miami Marlins for the Miami Herald, and he's also on Sports Grid Radio, the host of Newswire. Look at him right there. Super handsome fella. My man, Craig Mish. He is one of the absolute best in the business. I love this man like I love more than I love my own brother. I'm not really a big fan of my brother, my Craig Mish. That's my brother. So how about that one right there? Mish is going to be joining us a little bit later. We got a really fun game for him. For those of you who might not know, Craig Mish, when we did when COVID hit and we were starting to do, some shows, trying to be creative with different shows, Craig Mish got into the collectibles world, and he loves doing pack rips. And listen, I'll tell you what, if you've ever seen Rip and Riff here on the Fantasy Alarm Network and the Better Sports Network, Adam Bernard, Jared Moore, I've seen John Impemba on the show as well. These guys do a great job. So in honor of Mish joining us here, Adam has helped create an amazing game called Pack and Whack. That's right. You might get the players' cards. Yeah, that's what it's going to look like right there. You might be opening up a pack of cards from one sport or another, and then you got to decide whose card do you keep, and then whoever's you keep, the others, careers get whacked. So you got to make it. It's a very tough choice here. Do I get the more expensive card, or do I save the careers of some unbelievable players? And we're going to do it from all across sports here, not just baseball, not just football. We're going to throw in some hoops. We're going to throw in a little hockey there as well. Lots to talk about here. So before Craig gets over here and we start talking to him, I'll shout out to the chat right there. Good afternoon, Rex Timotheus. Good afternoon, Hal. Happiness to you as well. We appreciate you guys tuning in here. I hope I can be as entertaining as you need me to be. And of course, listen, once Mish starts rolling in here and we start talking about the GM meetings and everything that he's doing over at Sports Grid Radio, you guys are going to know that you've got an amazing source of information just available to you if you just give him a follow at Craig Mish on the old Twitter or X machine. Let's talk about some stuff that's going on in sports right now. The GM winter meetings, like I said, those things wrapped up yesterday in Nashville, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. This was actually, it wasn't crazy, right? Everybody wants big, crazy things. Now, yes, the Yankees acquiring Juan Soto. I'm a Yankees fan. I love it. I love it beyond belief. I still think they need a lot of work to do. You need to replenish some of that pitching that you got rid of. The thing is, and I said this about the Texas Rangers last year, it wasn't that it was so great that they had Corey Seager and Marcus Semien atop that lineup. The real meat of it was in the 6th and the 7 hole when you had Josh Young and Jonah Heim, who are both producing at a high level. So one of the things that my Yankees are definitely going to need to look out for. Listen, I love Aaron Judge and I love Juan Soto. A lefty Juan Soto in Yankee Stadium. I mean, come on. That's ridiculous. Two high-powered, high OBP guys. I love that. You just need to spread some things out in that lineup, but fantastic move there. I'm super stoked about it. We'll see what the Yankees do the rest of the way. Speaking of which, Red Sox, Yankees making a trade. This has been, I just don't get it. I mean, I do get it. It doesn't matter who the teams are. Okay, fine. You want to trade Alex Verdugo inside the division, whatever. You obviously don't have high hopes for Alex Verdugo in the sense that you're willing to give him. I hear people say that he sucks in the clubhouse or whatever. It doesn't matter to me. Personality wise, somebody said this to me, when I was in a text chain with somebody. And when I said that Juan Soto was going to the Yankees, and they were like, yeah, isn't Juan Soto kind of a dick? So is Reggie Jackson. Reggie Jackson was a dick. My favorite ball player of all time, Thurman Munson, hated Reggie Jackson. I'm the straw that stirs the drink. All that stuff. Again, as long as you're winning, I don't really care. Yes, clubhouse chemistry does matter, but you know what? You can have a couple of superstars out there who few people like. Look at AJ Przinsky. Nobody liked that dude, and he's still managed a pretty successful Major League Baseball career. So, but the funny thing for me about the whole Mets and the Yankees trade is that, and I feel like we've talked about this here on the show, we're losing our identity right now with certain things happening. We're obviously, I don't even know. Like when the Red Sox beat the Yankees, what was that, 2004? Is that when that was? 2003, 2004? Like all of a sudden everything changed. And the Yankees and the Red Sox rivalry, it lost its luster. I mean, you could still try to perpetuate it a little bit, but it just didn't happen like that. And the Red Sox, they went on, they did some great things. They've won some games. They won another, they won a World Series. Okay. But, like that rivalry's kind of fizzled out for me. It's like the Cubs winning the World Series. They spend their whole lives being the lovable losers, and Cubs fans, the lovable losers. Now that you won a World Series, well, then where do you go from here? You're no longer the lovable losers. You've won a World Series in the modern era. So, I kind of feel like when we sit there and, people start, pissing and moaning about the Yankees making a trade with the Red Sox, it's just not the same as it was, back in the day. Red Sox, congratulations. You pulled yourself out of it, We're better off having our Yankees-Mets, rivalry going on in there. Now, we'll cover all of this when Craig gets here. We'll talk more about the GM meetings. I have a big question I want to ask him about the secrecy of Shohei Ohtani's free agency, because it's really it's a blown opportunity to market baseball better. We know that Shohei Ohtani, this guy could be the $500 million guy that everybody was expecting, right? Beyond Bryce Harper, beyond Juan Soto, beyond Fernando Tatis Jr. Shohei Ohtani has proven to be the best two-way player of all time. He's one of the best baseball players of all time. I know you can sit there and you can mix and match about different eras and things like that, dead ball era, juiced ball era, whatever the case may be. Shohei Ohtani has proven that he can do it all. So this is a total missed opportunity to be able to share in like the whole, where will Shohei Ohtani end up? Where will he be? And being able to get people hyped about it, get people amped up about it. I'm not really sure, I guess maybe Shohei Ohtani just doesn't want the media circus. Seems like a private guy. I don't really know. Craig Mish will be able to, enlighten us on that, but huge missed opportunity here for MLB. College football. Listen, I get it. You're hurt. You're sad. FSU, yeah. Is it the best team, overall who gets, the high ranking and gets to play for the playoffs, or is it the best team today? And that's really kind of where we were at. Alabama beating Georgia knocks Georgia from like number 1 to number 6. That makes no sense. FSU, They lose Travis, their starting QB. Then their number 2 QB, he goes down with a concussion. This team goes out there, they're winning it with defense, and they throw a third string QB into the ACC championship game against Louisville, and they won. Now you're telling me that the second string quarterback, like they snub FSU because they don't have Travis and they think that, oh, well, they're going to get killed. I'm sorry. Do you not think the second string QB is going to clear any kind of concussion protocol between now and the end of December when this game actually happens, when this game actually matters? Like, I just, to me, I look at what we've got going on here in the college football playoffs, and it's a huge joke right now. It's a money grab. It's a money grab for the NCAA. It's a money grab for ESPN, Disney, and ABC. They have manipulated this entire situation so that they can get, what? We want Michigan to take on Alabama because we think Alabama has the better chance. Alabama's got a great following, and Alabama's got a better chance to upend Michigan because we don't want a cheating program who had their coach suspended as the national champion. Well, then you know what? Bump them down. Don't give them that. If you're worried about this program, you're punishing the players. I don't give a crap if we're punishing the players. The players are following suit with what the coach says and does, what the boosters say and do for Michigan. You should have bumped Michigan the moment that Harbaugh was suspended for cheating. Cheating. But okay, let's keep them ranked number 1, and we'll just try and pick them off with Alabama. I'm sorry. It's a crock of shit. I can't say it any nicer than that. It was a huge crock of shit. And it bums me out, right? And I feel bad for the FSU players and coaches because they had an amazing season. And you know what? Listen, if you're going to deal with the Baltimore Ravens having Trent Dilfer as a Super Bowl winning quarterback, well, then screw it, man. Give FSU a shot at the national championship with their backup quarterback. Like, why? Why can't you do that? Oh, because it's not enough for you. Not enough money. You don't want, we don't want a TCU 2.0 or a Cincinnati 2.0. Dudes, it's garbage. To me, it's lame. It's completely lame. And, listen, I'm not even a college football guy, but I do have friends of mine who are definitely very into the college football. I've got one friend of mine whose daughter goes to Florida State. They're ridiculously up in arms. Now, I'm not going to sit here and get so overworked about it, but let's call a spade here, and let's talk about the fact that it is the almighty dollar that is driving this. Because what happens now? What happens now is that the college football people get to turn around and say, well, what happened in 2023 was terrible, and these teams got snubbed, and Georgia and FSU should have been in that college playoffs. So now this gives us perfect reason to do our 12-team college football playoff bracket that everybody's been pushing, which is going to do what? Going to put more money into the hands of the NCAA. It's going to put more money into ABC, Disney, ESPN. It's going to put more money into college programs. I mean, listen, whatever happened to going to college for a freaking education? Like, listen, if we want to, listen, I get that we're allowing players to now accept money for, the work that they do, the NFTs and all the other nonsense that goes along with that. But come on. We are just hammering this to the point where, it is just business and it is only money driven, and programs that are working as hard as they're working doesn't make a difference. Doesn't make a difference. Follow the money. That's everything in sports right now. That's everything in the modern era right now. And listen, I hate it. I absolutely hate it. All right. I wanted to talk about some New York football teams and why it's like you're such a loser if you're all into New York sports. But I don't even have time to take the trash out right now. Why? Because my buddy Craig Mish is here right now, and I want to bring him in because I haven't been able to hang out with Craig, and I don't know how long. I've missed him so much. So here you go. It's at Craig Mish on Twitter/X. He covers the Miami Marlins for the Miami Herald. He's on Sports Grid Radio hosting Newswire 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. Get him on in here. My buddy Craig Mish. Look at you. Look at you. You're so handsome. You're so
Sure, I look
awesome.
good.
I'm so psyched to have you here. Thank you so much for being here. You're one of my favorite people of all time anyway. So what's up? I got to ask you here about this whole college football thing because I know you're a Gators guy.
I am. Look.
Oh, see, there you go. So the FSU people want to know, are you going to help them out here, Craig? Are you going to side with the FSU program? What was up with this?
Yeah, man. First of all, it's awesome to be with you, man. Miss you a lot. Great that we get to catch up on here. And yeah, for FSU, I feel real bad. I definitely think that they deserved to be in the top four, but that was not what was best for college football. And unfortunately, that's why they got bounced. So what was best for college football was to have Alabama in there. Howard, these games you can't look without Jordan Travis, you can't have the possibility of people tuning out of this game in the second quarter or third quarter. There's just too much money at stake with advertising. Not really the ethical way to go about doing it. That would have been to put Florida State in it. But I understand what college football did. It's all about, as you've talked about, the money. It's all about making sure they get the premier matchup. It's arguably the most popular day of the year in college football, having those two games played in the semifinals before the championship game. I would argue it's probably better than sometimes the championship game. We've seen some blowouts in the past too. So it was best for college football, best for their decision, but it was not best for Florida State. There's no doubt about that.
No doubt, no doubt. I love your backdrop there. Is that Jim Bowden's apartment complex right behind
lives
you?
Right there. All right. There.
Oh, there he is. Yeah.
I saw him on the way out yesterday. He was leaving the same time as me.
Oh yeah, so all right. I mean, listen, I want to know all about the GM meetings and seeing Jim and everything like that. But the most important question to me, Craig, and you know this is the most important question to me when I get a chance to talk to you. How's my boy Hayes doing?
Hey, thanks for asking. Hayes is doing great. We just wrapped up the fall season for 11U. We won the championship. We did not have a good regular season, but it's kids at the end of the day, and we played in this like very brief tournament. Essentially, it's what's called the Premier League tournament. We won the first game, and then we had to win two more. Actually, it's a good story. You're gonna like this. And then we had to win two more games to win the championship. So so in the end, we did win the championship and we gave out the awards. Hayes ended up winning the MVP of the team. It was really awesome experience.
My boy, that's my boy.
It was great. But you're gonna love the story as to how we got to the championship. Okay, so we play. I've told the story before, but you haven't seen it. We played a team in the morning, and in order to to advance the championship, we had to win that game, and then we play a team in the afternoon. So it's like a 9 a.m. and then we watch the next game between the two other teams. And then the winner of that plays in the championship. So we win the morning game. And then we get to the afternoon game. And who is there, and we're playing against some team in Fort Lauderdale. And who is one of the dads of the other team that's actually like doing the lineup? He's not the coach, but he's like doing the lineup and handing it, to our coach. It's Adam Gase. Adam Gase Adam Gase's son is playing on the other team.
Let me do my eye thing.
So he's super nice guy, incredibly nice. So he gives like the lineup to like our team as we're getting ready to play them. And then all of a sudden, Howard, there's like this long delay. Like we don't know what's going on. Like we're on the field, no other team is there. And we know we're supposed to play who we're supposed to play. We watched the previous game. And as it turned out, the team that lost protested the game, saying that the team that won brought in, as you would say, I guess, a ringer, a kid that wasn't supposed to play, wasn't supposed to be on the team. They protested. They won the protest. The kid was not supposed to play.
Was it Danny Almonte?
That was the story that I was thinking of. This is 11 years old. This isn't even the College World Series. It's like some silly tournament. So they kicked it. So the team went home. Imagine having to tell these kids that was a deal. And then we played against the team that lost. We beat the team that lost, and we won the championship.
That's my boy Hayes. All right.
He had a great year.
What position is he playing right now? Let's see. I remember. So for those of you guys who don't know, Craig and I, we've known each other for years. Craig and I, we humped the Sunday night show on Sirius XM like years and years and years ago together. And then we used to do a live stream with Wager Alarm. And during that, like before we would actually, sit there, Hayes Craig's son would come and hang out in the room. We'd say
You pop
hi,
in?
see how he's doing.
Mhm.
And I love the kid. I love the kid like he's my own. So this makes me
Thank you.
so happy. Position, how'd he do in the championship? I need to know all of this.
Yeah. So he, for the most part this season, his primary position was second base, but when the shortstop pitched, he played shortstop, and he also threw the most innings at pitcher, and also threw the most pitches for any pitcher on the team too. In terms of statistically, he among the three was the third. He had 2 games that he just could not get adjusted to the mound and had 2 bad games, but the rest of the season he was fantastic. He pitched in the championship game. He threw 85 pitches, was the most for any of our kids during the regular season or playoffs, and got the win, and we ended up winning in the end. So pitcher, second base, shortstop, those are the 3. But he's played all over. He's played outfield. He played third base a little bit too, but so proud of him for the season, and we'll get ready for the spring season now too. We'll see what happens. He hit 500 this year. He led the team in batting average, led the team on base percentage, led the team on OPS. Or it's maybe the second, I think, maybe an OPS, but really he came into his own, had a lot of confidence, like that's really at that age, Howard, what it is. Like his last year, he was like uncertain, like a lot of check swinging, like what do I do? And then this year there was really none of that. And he had a great year. It was a lot of fun for the family. We had a big party on Sunday night, and we invited everybody over. He was surprised. We did a surprise MVP party. We played the video. We did a highlight video and everything. It was a great experience.
My invitation must have gotten lost in the mail or something like that.
Well, Half Moon Bay. It's just a half mile walk.
I would have done a video appearance just to celebrate this with Hayes.
Thank you.
Again,
it was like last minute. It was last minute.
I'm kidding, dude. Listen, you're going to see him after this show, and you're going to give him a huge hug for me.
I will.
You tell him that Howard is super psyched for him, super proud of him, and then we go from
I will do, man.
Please.
You look good. You look good, by the way.
Stop it.
You look good. I'm proud of you.
I've been on this like horrendously forced diet for an extended period of time right now.
Yeah, you look good. Yeah,
I trim the beard. Usually, when I get the beard going nice and thick, then it starts to make me look a little heavier.
you look healthy.
Stop it, you.
We'll have to suspend the "I'm gonna die" and.
No! We're still rooting for that. We're still rooting for death.
I didn't have you at the top of that pool, so.
Well, maybe you should. You should pick me. You should definitely pick me. So tell me about the winter meetings. How were they for you? I mean, you only got to see Bowden for like a fleeting moment.
Twice. I saw him when he was hosting his one of the shows, and then Bochy came over, and then he big time me. I got Bochy, I gotta go. And then, or Chris Young, it may have been. Chris Young? I don't remember. It was one of the Texas guys. I understand that. Like I'm just kidding on that. And then in the end, I had to call an Uber, and my Uber was like getting ready to pull in, and he was like running to a cab. He's like, "Come on, let's get in the cab." I'm like, "Buddy, I already called the Uber. Like, I already paid for this. Like, I gotta take the Uber." And he's like, "Right, see ya." Gone. But yeah, I also gave him a lot of crap at the winter meetings. Right before I got into my hotel, I was like, "I am so mad at you, man." He's like, "Why are you mad at me?" And I'm like, "Listen, I'm listening to you on the radio, okay? And you opened up the winter meetings on MLB Network. I was listening. I was driving around, listening to it. And you said that there was going to be $1 billion spent at this winter meetings. And you jinxed this." And he's like, and in Jim fashion, instead of like saying like laughing, he's like, "What do you mean? Choreo, 100 million. I'm like, "Get the bleep out of here." I'm like, "Wait, I'm talking about contract." He's like, I'm on the verge. He's like, "All I need is like 1 or 2 guys." I'm like, but he knew it was like in jest. It was funny. And then we talked about his kids and everything like that, and his son at Notre Dame. But it was great. That's really, Howard, in the end, when there's no activity, which there honestly was none at the winter meetings, it becomes, okay, let me schedule, and for me too, let me schedule some meetings. Let me text people that I haven't seen in a while, that I'm probably not going to see for a while. Let me see if I could get FaceTime 5 minutes, 10 minutes, bumping into people. That's what it was for me for 2.5 days, just catching up with people, because obviously, as you know, there was no news for almost 3 days.
Yeah, I mean, everybody was buzzing on the Kelnick deal, him going to Atlanta. That was like the big news. Then there was the whole Alex Verdugo and the Yankees Red Sox making a deal, and then
That's so small though, man. Like
oh
in
yeah, oh I
comparison
know,
to
but
what could happen.
in comparison to what the rest of the winter meetings were like, that was probably like the third best story was the was the Verdugo deal.
Yeah. I mean, think back to last year. You had Trey Turner, you had Xander Bogaerts, you had Aaron Judge, you had like every big guy sign at the
Yeah.
winter meeting. And so, Ken Rosenthal wrote something in the Athletic, I think it was a day or two ago, and I'm on board with that. I talked to a lot of people who won't say anything publicly about it, but the winter meetings needs to change to they need to incorporate some sort of soft contractual deadline during the winter, and hopefully the MLBPA will get on board with it, where Howard, like the end of the winter meeting signals the end of when you're able to sign players for a period of time. I don't know what that is, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month. But if they did that, you would almost guarantee a flurry of things happening on that last day, like the NBA when they open up or the NFL when they open up. Otherwise, we just have to understand that the winter meetings is a meet and greet, is a convention for all the people in baseball to hang out, because that's all it was this week.
Oh, it's like the FSGA.
Exactly. The draft that everybody really cares about.
4 people attend, right? Absolutely. I mean, listen, that's listen, I totally get that. Doesn't MLB have like a holiday freeze like during that week of Christmas and New? If you don't, then I
No.
agree with you. I think you put that little freeze on there and say that you can't do anything, in this like 2 to 3 week span, until like the new year starts, and then you
Right.
probably end up with something like that.
Yeah, because remember, I don't know if you remember this a couple of years ago when we knew there was going to be a lockout. You remember that?
Mhm.
And then like the day of, like the last day to sign before the lockout, there was like incredible activity. And look, it may not have been Aaron Judge or Trey Turner, but you would guarantee conversation about baseball, and you would guarantee attention about baseball. Like this whole Ohtani thing, I sort of don't blame him. Like, I don't care. Like, I understand how the media feels. And look, I would have loved to be talking about this guy for 3 days and making stuff up and throwing a lot of teams at him. I think that's fine. But I don't think it's his fault. Like, this is the way he wants to operate. And this is the way that the agent, Nes Balello, wants to operate. So it's well within their power. Is it good for the game? Of course not. It's not. But this is what you've set up. Like, this is the process of setting up. You've given players the ability to not sign until opening day. There's no deadline. There's no stopping point. So why not wait? That's the way the agents see it. And by the way, Howard, this idea that Ohtani's holding everything up, there's hundreds of free agents. What, one guy can't sign for $4 million or $3 million? I mean, come on, it's nonsense.
No, I hear you, man. Yeah, and then listen, again, because you and I are part of the media, basically. I mean, we're listening to people piss and moan because, oh, what's the matter? You need something else to write about. You can't just write about Shohei Ohtani. I mean, I think that's probably one of the things where we're at. You can definitely turn the focus. I mean, listen, as a New York Yankees guy, Craig, that I'm like, I'm psyched about Soto. I want to see all that, but. I said it earlier, as great as having Soto and Aaron Judge at the top of the heap was will be for us. One of the things I equated it to the Rangers who won the World Series. You had Simeon and Seager at the top of that lineup, and that was great. But you had Jonah Heim and Josh Young in the 6 and 7 hole, and those are the guys that kept that whole, kept it all going. Top heavy lineups aren't working, and I think the Yankees definitely need to not only mix in some better pitching, but you obviously also need to expand that lineup because otherwise, just pitch around Judge and pitch around Soto and, let me have my way with, some of these other kids that they've got going on.
Black athleticism, I think that's a huge part of it too. Like, I mean, they just have like these big mashers, but if you compare that to Philadelphia, like Philadelphia has got Harper, he's very athletic, and Turner's very athletic, and Real Muto as a catcher is very athletic, and they just don't. The Yankees just don't have that. So you're right. And then the other part of that is several years ago, I remember, of course, Howard living in South Florida. I remember just everyone saying that the Marlins just gave up Stanton, and at the time. It was a dump. Make no mistake about it. He was coming off the MVP, but there were a lot of people in the industry that said, "How is this guy going to age?" I mean, you tell me at this point. Can't play the field, basically can't run anymore, and is one of the highest paid AAVs in baseball. Going to bat 6th or 7th maybe for the Yankees this season, and going to end up with 500 home runs probably. But now he's at the tail end, and the Yankees are stuck, right? And that's just the nature of these contracts, which is why Ohtani is so interesting too. Because if they do 10 years or something like that, what's that going to look like in year 8 or year 9?
Well, I mean, aren't they're going to give him a 10-year deal with like an opt
Right?
out after like 2 or 3? I'm sure that's
Maybe,
the growing
maybe.
trend also.
Yeah, it could be, but with this one, I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean, I guess it could be. But Boris is really the one that does the opt outs. Everybody, some other agents do, but Boris really made that popular. I think that's fair to say.
So let me ask you this, because obviously, you know, you and I mean, we're neck deep in baseball. We have a love for the game. We have a love for everything. And, you know, and obviously because we're also in this, you know, fantasy and betting industry, that we know that football drives the bus. Is there
Yep.
is there anything that MLB can do to kind of restore some of the love? Like, I mean, it's really you know, I get it. Football drives the bus, fine. But, you know, for people to be so down on baseball, I thought some of the new rules were fine. I hate the ghost runner. I'll say I hate the ghost runner. But like you know, I think that, you know, we sped up the game a little bit, and the pitch clock, and, you know, and I didn't see anything that was so crazy outlandish outside of Angel Hernandez just stinking it up as an umpire. But like I was psyched about the way this baseball season went this past year. I really was. And it culminated to what I thought were like really entertaining playoff matchups as well.
Yeah.
And so I was totally into it. But, you know, obviously we live in a different world here where, you know, attention spans are like gone, and people are still kind of complaining about, you know, the slow stodginess of a game of baseball. And I'm curious, can baseball recover and any of this?
Well, look, betting is going to help that. I think that's definitely in the equation. I think that what really something to watch is for the future is how the TV contracts get handled and how the streaming gets handled, Howard. Because while you have Yes Network and you have SNY and Nesson and Marquee and some of the others, I don't know what I'm missing. You're going to have Major League Baseball, most likely, Howard, within, like, let's say 2 years, control all of the broadcast rights. Major League Baseball controlling their own broadcast rights for all of the games. So what are they going to do at that point? There's a lot of different options. You're seeing Fanatics stream the sports betting app stream games. I think there's a lot of different combinations. To me, that's something to keep an eye on to at least garner more interest, make it easier for people to watch the games in that way. So we'll see how that pans out. I think the idea of baseball's in-game live betting in the stadium is something that's going to come to fruition soon. I think that you're going to be able to go to games and you're going to have to be at the games in order to do like pitch by pitch with no latency, meaning that you can, you can pick, is this guy going to throw a ball or a strike for $10?
Right. Yeah.
And I think that it's really hard with the latency now of being at home and having that happen. I think it still will in that way. What will this guy do next? Hit a home run, maybe hit a home run, get a hit. But because of just the broadcasting, it's just difficult to do it so quickly. I think avenues are going to open up inside the stadium to be able to do that. And that will make people want to come. And I think attendance has already gone up. Viewership has gone up. Revenue has gone up this year. So all those things are really good. But to me, the two factors that we have to get figured out are the TV rights, how that's going to work, where the money's going to go, who's going to pay for it. Is the network going to stream the games now together? Or are they going to have it sponsored by betting apps? Are you going to be able to bet on the MLB app? I mean, these are all things I think that are possible. That's one. And then the second part of it is I think the in-game experience is going to change also. I think they're going to add to that as well. But baseball is very healthy, Howard. The contracts that are given out are very healthy. Now, the last part of it was what you mentioned really at the top is fantasy-wise. Years ago, I said that the fantasy baseball, fantasy baseball will never die. They'll always be popular season long. And I think I was wrong. I've got to be honest. I think I was wrong. I think that there'll always be a group of people who are going to always want to play fantasy baseball. It's just now become more niche than anything else. I don't think it's ever going to come back to the levels that it was 15, 20 years ago. There'll always be people playing. There'll always be a need for providers and people to give advice, yes. And season-long leagues aren't going anywhere. But the idea that they're going to increase, I think, is not going to happen. And I think it will just continue to decrease. I don't ever think it's going away. But I didn't think that because of sports betting and daily fantasy that it would drop off as much as it has. And I think I'm going to end up being wrong on that because Howard, the people that I talked to that played are really not playing anymore, man. Like the season-long grinders are a lot of our industry friends are still playing it, but just the average fan really is not like they used to. So I think I'm wrong there.
Yeah, it's definitely, listen, it's definitely been tough for me, working in the industry, just knowing that, and we dealt with this with Sirius XM, right? It's like all of a sudden, everything switches off from baseball and it's only football.
Right.
Once basically it's, you would think that it was like July 4th used to be our cutoff, but now it's like, well, you got the draft on April 23rd or 25th. And like, that's
Right.
really where like
Well,
everything
I
starts to
still
pick
think
up.
well, look, I still think that is stupid because I think that no, what they never understood is that while you can do these best ball tournaments in June and July, the Major League Baseball day-to-day, daily fantasy, and season-long lineups are actionable in the moment. There's so many people that are not going to do the best ball is something that you and I know, Howard, but you walk down the street and say, do you know who Tom Brady is? Yes. Have you ever played in a best ball tournament? Excuse me? Can you what did you just say? The average person is not interested in that. So I still think that was dumb. And I still think it's dumb to take it off the air. You have a 24-hour channel. You can make an hour or 2 hours a day to talk about baseball. You could do golf for gosh sakes. You could do hockey. I mean, you have all this time to program. You can find time to do everything, in my opinion. But just the notion, I think, that it's going to survive and thrive in a way that it used to. Unfortunately, I do think that's. I don't think it's coming to an end. I just don't think it ever gets restored
Right.
to where it was several years ago. But I don't think, and I still don't think the answer is because people are not as interested in baseball. Let's go to football at that time because I still don't think that is the answer either. But somebody has not come up with what the answer is to engage people, I think, at that time.
We need more pickleball tournaments.
Maybe it is pickleball.
We need more
missing
Russian table tennis, right? Isn't that where everybody was betting during COVID?
That's right. That's right. The Savannah Banana Games.
Savannah Banana Games. So let me ask you a question here. So all right, like, push work aside, because right now, I mean, I know that you're neck deep in football and you deal with a lot of stuff in the in the betting industry there. And it all kind of, boom, it fizzles out a little bit once you clear the Super Bowl, right? And it's like, okay, February and whatever. But you got some time in between where you have to start going full blown in with the Marlins and spring training and things like that because you cover them for the Herald. What's Craig Mish doing with his downtime these days? Like, what are you doing with yourself anymore? Like, I mean, are you having some fun at least at the, outside of the sports world? It's a tough spot to like try and pinpoint for you, but are you at least doing something fun for yourself?
Well, the baseball with Hayes takes up a lot of time. It's 2-3 days a week. I'm now part of the coaching, so it's a lot, and so that's it. My daughter Haley is graduating from high school. She's applying to schools, theater all across the country, and so we're waiting on that. It's a huge deal right now that's going on, and it's going to be a big transition from us. She's always lived at home. Of course, she's going to go to another university. We visited Florida State. She went up to visit 2 schools in North Carolina, Elon College and UNC Greensboro. So, and she's going to be going. I think she's going to visit Ithaca also soon.
Oh,
so
beautiful up there. I worked at the Hangar Theater in Ithaca. You and I need to have this conversation here. I went to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts in New York.
I know you did.
We need to talk about this for Haley. Absolutely.
Yeah. So we're waiting on. We obviously would love to see her go somewhere in Florida because we have this Florida prepaid where we don't have to pay for college if she chooses Florida, but we're not going to stop her from following her dream. And her dream is to act and sing and dance and do all that. It's very competitive. Even probably just as much or more so than the industry that we're in. And I would venture to say that industry is even more competitive than professional sports to break into. It's just such a limited amount of people, as you know, excuse me, that get into that. So that's consuming a lot of time. But going back to like the baseball and the fantasy, that time is because of the job that I have on Sports Grid with hosting the sports betting show that I do every day, which is more about like the news of sports betting and how the odds are shifting, as opposed to just saying, give me that +5, get it +5. Oh, yeah, you bet it. And people are not betting on this stuff, but they're yelling at you, telling you
what my lock of the week.
This is it. This is what you do. This is my same game parlay. I'm gonna get rich off it. What's the max bet? $20. Okay, you're gonna get rich off it.
Yeah, but it's +7280.
There's like zero transparency in that industry. Going on social media, it's like, whatever. Anyway, so I more than fantasy, without a doubt, more than fantasy, I have shifted over to on that end. So if like Sports Grid is like 90% of what I do, or 85%, it really is. The 10% or the 15% is reporting on baseball. I'm just way more interested in that than fantasy baseball. It's just true. Throughout the day, maybe a call or a text to an agent or a team or players. It's just that has become way more interesting for me than playing the season-long fantasy baseball. Now, last year, Steve Gardner asked me to participate. It was in Florida. For only time I got COVID was right during that draft, unfortunately, so I couldn't go. But I had a really good team. I was very engaged on the team, and I played very hard to the end. I think I finished 3rd or 4th. It was a really good year. A lot of the players that I thought were going to do well did well. But why am I adding this? Because, Howard, that was the only fantasy baseball team that I had last year. The Labor. That was it. One team. And so if that doesn't tell you the story, that's what it is. That's all my time. That's all I have time for now. I'll do one team. Either it's an industry league team or somebody gets together and says, we're going to play for a significant amount of money. At that point, it's worth doing because I know that everybody is engaged in it. But that's it. And so it's all Sports Grid and then some reporting on the side. It's a hobby, I think, more than anything else.
All right. Well, then let's get you into a little bit of fun here. So what I like to do is I like to play games with my guests, right? I mean, it's something fun. It's something that it's attached to you and to things that you like. And when we were dealing with COVID and we were trying to come up with different ideas and stuff like that, you started to try and get me into pack rips and collectibles and fun stuff cards, like that, right? You even sent me like a box with like a bunch of packs in it, and and we were talking about doing that. So, Craig, it's time for our game here on the show. It's going to go along the lines of collectibles. Craig Mish, it's time to play Pack and Whack.
That's it. What do you mean? He's gone. He's gone. And that's it.
Pack and Whack. You pick 3. The rest of their careers gotta go.
All right. Listen, I know you love the kitschy bits here because that always brings me back to the old days. So what we've got is we've got 4 packs, one for each of the major sports for you, Craig. We're gonna rip open the pack.
You have it?
What's that?
You have it, right?
Adam Bernard, you taking care of this here? Let's get him in here.
I'm ready to rock. I got packs ready to go.
He's got packs ready to go.
90 Fleer?
We for some reason we wanted to go throwback here and all 1990 packs. So we got Fleer baseball. 90.
Are you impressed that I just said that, Howard? 90 Fleer. I called that out within 5 seconds.
That's 90
Fleer
surprise
football.
Me. It doesn't.
That's the worst of all. Oh, that may actually have some stuff. Okay.
And then French 1990, 91 NHL pack.
I can't tell you Gretzky. Yeah. Lemieux.
Well, we're gonna rip, and then here you go. Adam, was he gets to pick one card out of the pack, and then everybody else's careers get whacked.
So most of these card packs have 15, so we'll say 3 per pack you can keep. Everybody else's careers kaput.
All right, let's start with MLB then.
All right,
90 Fleer.
90
How about this?
flair
You can show me the picture and hide the name of the guy. Let me see if I can name him. Let's start there.
First, we got a nice little team sticker there. All right.
World
So
Series
let's see
champs.
who. Let's see. We got a picture for the Rangers there.
Oh gosh, I can't see. Is it Cecilio Guante?
Jesus Christ! Great, good job.
You're the unbelievable.
Like the base card of base cards, and this guy gets it right out of the back.
Unbelievable.
How about that?
That
I feel like David Blaine.
David
That's Rafi.
Blaine.
That's easy.
Who's this?
Rafi, easy one.
Ooh, close, but no
Nope.
star.
It's not?
Pete Incaviglia.
Oh, Pete Incaviglia. Big power hitter.
All right, let's
With a
go to the
funky
Braves.
little-
I may not get the rest. Oh gosh, I can't even see it. Left-handed hitter on the Braves? Oh my gosh.
Started his career in the early 70s.
I
Was
have no
there
idea.
a very long time, and then
I'm
went
out.
to the Giant.
Dale Hubbard.
Darrell Evans.
Darrell Evans.
Oh, Evans, yeah.
All right, so this one, a double card here.
The Shields?
Correct.
The card? I don't know the picture on Philly. No.
Jason Grimsley.
Yeah. Oh, he had a career.
Grimsley.
That one, all right.
We're
That's
never
Zeal.
going to get through anything here if we
That's Zeal. That's Zeal.
This.
We
All right,
got-
sorry, we won't do this. We don't have to do this.
No.
Sorry.
Listen, we'll just stick with one pack here. I'm good with that.
Giants right-handed hitter? Oh gosh, I don't know. Litton?
His last name's also a first name.
Oh, I
Didn't
don't
really
know.
have much of a career. Mike Benjamin.
Mike Benjamin?
Benjamin.
Yeah.
Infielder for the Pirates after that.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go, Howard. Oh, I got that one. I
What do you got?
Kevin McReynolds?
Close. Greg Jeffries.
Jeffries. Yeah, Greg Jeffries.
Kevin McReynolds and Greg Jeffries were the only two guys to get hits in my very first ever baseball game. Jose Rijo threw a complete game 2-hit shutout in
There
my
you
first
go.
ever baseball game at Shea in 90.
we should have stopped the stream after Guante. That would have been.
We totally should have.
Is that Baltimore?
That is Baltimore indeed.
Randy Milligan?
Oh man, you're back on it. You're good. You're good. Here we go.
This is impressive. Oh, Mike Felder all day long.
Guys are rolling right now. Let's head to Kansas City.
So embarrassing. Ooh. Oh, that's a guy he played on a different team. He ended with Kansas City.
Played with
Right?
he played with the Mets before that.
The Mets?
Yes.
No, I don't know.
Terry Leach.
No, I wouldn't have got that.
All right, yeah. The rest of there's only one name I even recognize in the rest of this pack here.
Didn't we just do that one?
This is a different player.
I don't know. It's a
Sam
Met.
Barry
McReynolds.
Lyons.
Oh, Barry Lyons, catcher. Franco?
Deion James.
Oh, Deion James, left-handed hitter, Brewers.
Yeah, he
Cleveland.
bounced around a little bit. He was a solid like fourth outfielder.
Matt Williams?
Greg Litton, and then
That's Litton.
and the last one from the pack.
Oh, a Reds pitcher. Danny Jackson?
Tim Leary.
Oh, Leary. Yeah.
All right, so we'll
There
go
were
through the
two.
names
There were
again.
two that were impressive there, Craig. Two
All
of
right.
them were impressive.
So you got Deion James, Greg Litton, Barry Lyons, Terry Leach, Mike Felder, Randy Milligan, Greg Jeffries, Mike Benjamin, Todd Zeal, Jason Grimsley, the Shields, Darrell Evans, Pete Incaviglia, Cecilio Guante, and Tim Leary. Who are the three careers you're saving?
I don't
Now
know if
define
any of them
saving.
warrant saving.
Define saving.
Yeah, we'll say they get to have their careers, however mediocre or subpar they may have been.
They
I mean, this is like
exist.
the worst pack ever.
It is the
Darrell
worst pack
Evans.
ever.
Darrell Evans had the best career of anybody in there. That's without a doubt. Darrell Evans had probably 300 home runs.
All right, so
Right.
Darrell gets to stay.
After that, oh my
Yeah, it
god,
gets a little dicey after that.
Save Mike Benjamin. Save Mike Benjamin.
he played like 2 years with Pittsburgh after that.
You got to save Todd Zeal, no?
Oh yes, Todd Zeal had a really good career. That's right.
That's a catcher there, by the way.
That's his rookie card. It could be worth -2 cents.
Possibly. And if it was me, maybe Delino DeShields.
You may get somebody to take that, and you have to give them 2 cents. Yeah, DeShield. You know, Adam, I think you're right. I think DeShields would be the third one. Jeffries would have been the hottest name of them all, but his career did not span. I don't know if Jeffries got 10 years.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't think he did either at that point. So those are the three we're saving. You want to do a football pack here before we get you out of here? Quick.
Yeah, I'm good. I actually have a little more time, so we can go till 2.
All right, let's rip open a football. But please, for the love of all that
Give
is
us
holy,
something.
give us something in this one.
All right.
That was a terrible pack.
That
Hey,
was
Craig,
that might be
welcome
one
to
of
the
the worst
show where we're
packs
going
I've
to
ever
rip
ripped.
the worst
That was
packs
an
ever.
awful
Oh
pack.
boy.
Man.
I may have
That
to go
was
to the
really,
closet. Okay,
like-
we got at least one name in here. We got a couple of names in here. Okay. I was about to go to the closet and get another pack at this point.
All right, just rattle off the names.
Simon
I'm not
Fletcher.
gonna be, I'm not going to know these guys. Yeah,
All
that's
right,
not going to happen
so
with football.
Simon Fletcher from the Broncos. Anthony Miller
player.
from the Chargers. That's a good one. Ron Stark, punter. We got Percy Snow, who's a linebacker. Yeah, this is a garbage pack. Here's Michael Irvin. That's a good one.
There you go. That's easy.
There it is. There's one.
He goes to the top.
He goes to the top. There's Anthony Miller right there. He had his time as well with the Bolts.
We could do better than him.
We can do better than him. Andre Bruce. Rich Gannon. Big Gannon.
Super Bowl champ. Super Bowl champ.
No, he did. He lost it, and he was on the Raiders side of that Buccaneer Super Bowl, wasn't he?
Didn't he go to? Oh, you're right. But didn't he go to Tampa Bay at the end?
I don't think
you
so.
may be right. AFC champ.
He got traded in the third quarter of the Super Bowl, and so they gave.
It wasn't his fault. It was that guy who slept in or whatever. Remember that?
Speaking of quarterbacks, Super Bowl champion quarterback Jeff Hostetler.
The Haas. Yeah, but we got Gannon ahead of him.
Yeah, we definitely got Gannon ahead of him. David Little, Pete Mandley, and Brian. Wow, that was two terrible packs. What is
worst
going on?
packs, dude?
Yeah, so out of that one, I think it's Miller, Gannon, and Irvin.
Irvin, yeah.
Sorry, Jeff Hostetler. Sorry, Super Bowl 25. Never happens.
I got no clue. So
yeah, well, that's all right. We'll wrap that up here.
Do the skybox. That was the best pack of them all.
All right, let's do it.
All right, here we go.
We could do this quick.
Craig's like, please give me something.
That was the best pack. That Skybox 90 was decent.
Okay, so
high budget show here, picking 90 Fleer, by the
way. We got Uncle Cliff Robinson.
He passed away recently.
Yeah. Rest in peace.
Yeah. Good player.
Right. David Wingate was a good player in his day. Todd Lichty, Mitchell Wiggins, Ken Norman. Oh, here we got one. Dennis Rodman.
There you go. Hall of Famer. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good action shot there. Let's see. Tim Kempton, Tyrone Muggsy Bogues.
Okay. Well, so far that's the second best.
Okay.
All right. Glenn Doc Rivers.
He goes ahead of Muggsy Bogues.
Go.
Really? Ahead of Muggsy?
Doc
Let's
Rivers.
see. Who else do we got here? We got Dyron Nix. No. How about a little Thunder Dan Marley?
Borderline third, fourth guy.
Okay. How about Vlade Divac?
No.
No. I got another Hall of Famer for you here, Joe Dumars.
Is he in the Hall of Fame?
If he's not, he should be.
Yeah, I'd put him in the top 3. He goes ahead of Muggsy Bogues, and he goes ahead of.
Oh my god!
All right, and one other guy here, the hot-handed Craig Elo.
Well, good player, but not going to make our list. Yeah.
All right, so Joe Dumars is a lock, I would say.
Yes.
Let's see here. Who else?
Rodman.
Rodman for sure, and then
Doc Rivers.
Doc Rivers ahead of Bogues.
All right, there you go. So we at least close somewhat strong.
That wasn't bad. Wasn't bad.
It wasn't great, but what are you gonna do? Craig,
with me.
Thank you so much for being here, man. Thanks so much for playing along. Give it a shout for everybody. Tell everybody where they find you right now and why they need to be paying attention.
Well, that's up to them if they want to pay attention. But every day at 11 a.m. on Sports Grid, it is streaming free on everybody's phone, TV, tablet. You may say, TV, what are you talking about? You have a Samsung, you have a Vizio, you get all these free channels that you're just like, what is all this stuff? We're on there too. So it's very easy to find. And, I would say the website is sportsgrid.com, but data-wise, everyone is streaming more on the devices these days and everything like that. So 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. And then a fantasy show on the weekends on Sports Grid 2. And it's fantasy football until fantasy football ends. So 6 shows a week. That's what I'm doing.
Well, if you ever need a guest, I'm here for you.
Thank you.
I'm here.
We like you over there.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate being liked over there. Love it. Love it. Say hi to the gang for me. Say hi to Hayes for me. We'll talk Haley and theater in the future.
Yes,
and of course, much love to you and the entire family over there, Craig. Thank you so much for being here, man.
Of course. Happy holidays. Happy Hanukkah.
Happy holidays. Happy Hanukkah. Craig Mish, everybody. Give him a follow at Craig Mish. Going to wrap up today with our final five. We're talking most inept franchises. We did football last week. We're going to do MLB this week in honor of Craig being here, and the winter meetings. Number 5, it's the Mets. They're terrible. And it doesn't matter how much money you want to throw at a team, at a player, it's just not working. So sorry, Mets fans, Steve Cohen just ain't going to be the answer for you guys over there. That team's a disaster. Number 4, it's the San Diego Padres. You guys spent so much money in the last couple of years trying to make it happen, and you just couldn't get over the hump. And it's terrible. And now you're trading everybody off because now you got to start all over. So tough break there, Pods. Number 3, we've got the Los Angeles Angels because they're just, you want to talk about an organization blowing it. Y'all should have made some deals last year. Get a little something for nothing because you just had Ohtani and you ain't getting them back. And it's just ruining your franchise right now. Artie Moreno, terrible. Coming in at number 2, it's the Oakland A's. A terrible franchise. It was a terrible stadium. It was just, there was a nightmare over there. And now you're moving to Las Vegas probably, and rightfully so. The fan base is overrated. You guys want to sit there and talk about, like, the stadium is half empty. No, it's more than half empty on the regular basis. You guys make the playoffs and then you got to take the tarps off. Then people start showing up. This franchise is terrible. The fans are terrible. The stadium is terrible. Bye-bye, Oakland A's. And then, of course, the number 1 worst franchise in all of baseball, it's the Pittsburgh Pirates. It's the Pittsburgh Pirates. Get rid of Ben Cherington, and maybe, just maybe, you guys will be able to do something over there. It's a horrible. I love this picture, by the way, the pic of Sid Bream sliding into home plate. All right, I love that because Sid Bream, former Pittsburgh Pirate, ruining it for the Pittsburgh Pirates in the 92 NLCS. So that's going to do it for us here on Getting Buzzed. Huge thanks to Adam Bernard for everything that he does and puts together here on the show, for breaking packs, even though those were the horrible packs, but we had a fun time doing it there. And a huge thank you to Craig Mish, my man. Give him a follow on Twitter at Craig Mish. His work is amazing. Listen to him on Sports Grid Radio as well. That's going to do it for us here on Getting Buzzed. Alarm Fantasy Football, that's coming up next. So appreciate you guys all tuning in here. I'm Howard Bender. Catch you next time.